Because no good morning didn't start without a bacon butty and a coffee. Beautiful. Good morning, lads and lasses. I am today going to be taking the C63s out for a spin because I've had this car for about a week now, and I have to be honest, I haven't really been able to do much because I've been so busy with work and presenting and all the things that basically make my life tick. And yeah, I'm still in that process of deciding which car I want, and Mercedes very kindly lent me the C63s for a week so that I could see, you know, maybe this is the one that's for me. I don't know. It's an important choice because it's a lot of money to lay out for a car that, you know, essentially I'm gonna have for the next year or so. And yeah, just gonna take you on a bit of a whip round today because I've got a few things to do, but I'm also gonna try and fit in a little car review in there as well because, you know, multitasking and all that. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I've been driving it for, oh God, gone into the dark. It's an interesting car to have around town. As I've told you before, you know, I live in central London, so to really give it any beams, you have to kind of take it a little bit out of town. So we're gonna see if we can get to a little bit of a greener spot. I look naked. No, I'm not. I'm not naked, and apologise for all the makeup just because I've got to, you know, got things to do today, and I'm feeling pretty pale at the moment because I haven't been on holiday or tan or any of that stuff. So anyway, let's get going because as usual, I'm late. Right, I think we're about ready to go. As usual, my things are absolutely everywhere and the flat actually is quite tidy for once. Oh my God, does anybody else like forget to turn their straighteners off every single time before they leave the house? I'm surprised I haven't burnt down my gaff yet. Okay, so we are off on our way for the day, and just to start the day off nicely, I've literally realised that I have a parking ticket. Great. I parked the car for about not 2 minutes, but like 10 minutes outside my flat on some double yellows, which are not in the way of anyone, just to run in and grab my cameras and sort my life out. And in that time, in that 10-minute window, I got a parking ticket. So thank you, Tower Hamlets. But do you know what? I'm one of those people that kind of takes the piss with parking sometimes. So for all the times that I didn't get a ticket, kind of have to, you know, take the rough with the smooth on that one. Anyway, back to the C63s. It's very nice, isn't it? Do you know what? You certainly get some looks in this thing, even though it's quite reserved. I think the actual exterior styling of it, it's quite chill. It's not as muscular as I would have wanted to be. It's got the new grille on the front, where instead of the horizontal bar, it's got the vertical, the verticals in it, and it looks beefy, but not as beefy as I would want for a 510 brake, 700 Newton meter, you know, twin turbo V8 hanging around in there. But saying that, I have very much been enjoying driving this thing. It kind of feels like a pony that wants to be let out the stable all the time. It's very like, ugh. And you know, you get in and you can change the exhaust note straight away. That's the first button I go to, is like straight to the exhaust note, slightly asbo. But you know, if you're gonna drive a V8, I wanna know I'm driving a V8. Or is that just me? Who knows? As I said, still on the hunt for that perfect daily car. Well, it's never gonna be perfect because no car is perfect, as we all know. And the main contenders are one of these, the M3. So I was quite intrigued to get this because I was like, okay, it's a little bit more spenny, but what it does have is a lot more sort of home comforts. I mean, this cabin is mint. Like, the seats are gorgeous. It's got side bolstering, which I know sounds like a minor thing, but you know, when it sort of like tucks you in the chair and you're all nice and cozy and like quite sat low down, and it's got a million adjustment, whereas the M3 is a slightly plainer interior. As we all know, that's always been everyone's kind of big gripe with it, is that it doesn't sell itself on the interior, whereas this thing has got all the mod cons. Big screen in the middle. I tell you what though, I'm not gonna lie to you, there are so many buttons to press, and anyone who's got ever so slight ADHD like me just starts fiddling with things, and before I know it, I'm driving down Commercial Street and I'm in track mode, the ESC is off, everything is off, and then it's back. I don't know, like, I just end up pressing things and then suddenly I'm like, uh-oh, what have I done? I managed to turn the media off the other day and it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to turn it back on, and all it was a case of just pushing down that little scroll scrolly button there. Besides that, I don't want to talk too much at you because, you know, checked out the old YouTube figures and people sort of start listening to me drone on about something and then they're like, straight away they're off. So let's take it somewhere where I can at least give it a little boot, and then I need to go to Aldi. It's a rock star life, innit? So I'm heading out of town now because genuinely this car around town feels like a caged animal. It's got so much power, and I swear to God, like, you've got 9 gears in this thing. It's got a 9-speed automatic transmission, which means it has got so much length for it to gallop. So I'm heading out towards, actually out towards the Dartford crossing, around some of those roads out there, because it's easier for me to get out from the east side of town. And do you know what? I'm just really hoping that there's not much traffic on the road, because I'm sort of driving around now. There is a lot of traffic going on. And see if we can, you know, take this baby for a spin. Interesting. Out and about spots. I mean, this is something fairly special. I mean, was that a Celica at one point? Cute. Not my choice with the tribal tat down the side, but you know, whatever works for you. Well, let's take a look at the car. I pulled up for a second just to figure out my route for the rest of the day, and I have to admit, it is a good looking machine. It's very executive though, you know, with the 4 doors, but I wanted the M3, which has got 4 doors anyway. But it is a big car. It's 1,680 kilograms, which it's quite heavy. But believe me, when this thing gets shifting, it is ridiculous. I would have wanted something a little bit wider at the front. I'd have wished they'd have made like the arches a bit bigger. That's the one thing I do love about the M3. It's very ASBO, whereas this is a lot more refined. The AMG body styling pack gives you this little spoiler and the rear diffuser here. You can get these actually in carbon, which I think would make it a little bit more sporty looking, but as I was saying before, this one is very much German executive man spec. I would have gone for something a little bit more street, shall we say. You know, this is a really nice touch as well, having the AMG sort of embossed into the exhaust tips there. And believe me, these have got such a wide sound range on them. You can have them sort of quite quiet, and then also, I'm eating my hair. When you open the valves up, you can really hear that wonderful V8 rumbling away. Lovely. But enough of that, I need to get back on the road. God, I always feel like I'm always in a rush when I'm talking to you guys. Back in. It's interesting as well, when you get in and you put your seatbelt on, it does this little thing where it sort of just like straps you in, tightens you in, makes you feel like strapping in for the ride. Yeah. One last little thing as well, it's probably because I'm sometimes in a rush, but the reverse is actually up and the drive is actually down. The amount of times when I've been doing a sort of like 3-point turn and I've gone up to go drive and then I've started to go backwards again. So just always remember, D for down, right for up, and reverse. You know what I mean. We finally found some nice roads to give the car a little bit of a drive round. I've had to come all the way out to Essex to do this, so appreciate the effort, guys. You can only get a true feel for it when you take it somewhere where you can actually explore the power that it has, other than on track, because, you know, again, track is great, you get to really push the boundaries, but I don't think it gives you an accurate representative of how you're going to be driving this thing every day. Max, you're really supposed to be doing, because obviously everyone here is a complete law-abiding citizen, is 70 miles an hour, and that's on a motorway. So the most fun you can have is on kind of like a B road, or, you know, a country lane, doing around 60. Listen to that noise. I think one of the best things about this car is just how much fun you can have on those upshifts and downshifts. Putting it into race mode, it makes that upshift super snappy, and you get the nice little burble on the downshift as well. But the acceleration is ridiculous, really. The fact that this thing can go from like sensible sports sedan to absolute monster in about 40 miles an hour in 3 seconds. This thing does actually do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, and you can really tell that it has been tried and tested. And I did a little test because there's lots of little gizmos and gadgets on the infotainment where it's kind of just for the big geeks out there that want to test all the, you know, the capabilities of this car. And you've got a little boost gauge there, and you can actually set it into drag race mode as well, which is quite fun. You can just sort of have a little go on your own on a nice quiet closed road. But I think this car really does invite the joy of driving, because you have the two very different personalities of it. When it's all quiet, it's, you know, very comfortable, and, you know, you can fit all your friends and family in it. But then you have this ultimate weapon just ready to be released whenever you want it to. It's great fun. Yeah, ridiculous. Question is, guys, could you see me driving this car?
Take the second exit at the roundabout onto stand.
Yeah, could you see me driving it? Put it in the comments below if you think this car would suit me or not. Not that I'm going to listen anyway, but it's not the point. I like to engage you guys and bring you into the conversation, because whatever I choose, it's going to be my choice regardless, even if you think I look stupid in it. Well, I hope not anyway. Ah yes, little. Guys, I don't even care what you think. This place is the best for going shopping, because it doesn't matter if it's Lurpak or Norpak, still tastes the same. I love the fact that they even sit next to each other. Just what I've always wanted. Okay, so I've taken it for a quick spin, and now I'm having to head back into London Bridge for a quick meeting and a little photo shoot. This is where the car really is going to have to show whether it's the suitable one for me, because I constantly have to drive into Central. So, I mean, at least it's exempt from the ULEZ zone, which I did check the other day, because I drove through Liverpool Street and I was like, oh God, I'm going to get charged £24.50, because that's how much it is these days, £24.50 a day if your car is not exempt, like my BMW. So bless her, she's not going to be going anywhere near Central London anymore. So yeah, definitely has to have two personalities, I would say. But I am extremely warm all of a sudden, Jesus. Yeah, off we go to the next destination. Right, now we are in the delights of London Bridge, taking a photo. Patrick's on. Hey hun, you okay? So basically we're just going to take a quick photo. Patrick, what do you think? Do you reckon I should get a C63s or?
I'm not sure it's your bow enough for you, if I'm honest. I think you need something that looks a little more crazy, because this is very refined and very, very fast from being in it. But
how interesting that my manager of all people knows exactly what I've said in the last 10 minutes of this video. I've actually got to go and drop it off now, but I'm glad that I've been able to come and bring it into its two worlds in just this one video, just to see how it actually fares up. I need to go, and I'm really hungry. Sorry I can't get lunch with you, by the way. Busy girl, busy girl. Sorry. Patrick. Right, okay, let's talk. Right, thank you. And I shall see you very soon. It's a very, very close contender though. Now I'm more confused than ever, because I know for a fact when I got into the BMW, the M3 the first time, I was like, this is not all that it's cracked up to be. So I'm gonna go home and have a think and hand this wonderful machine back. But a big thank you to Mercedes for lending it to me for a week. A lot of people thought I was a baller in Whitechapel rolling around in this. It definitely has the street cred, guys. I know, even if I haven't, this does. Catch me again next time. I'll see you guys soon.